Hello, my name is Katie from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and today I'd like to ask you to take a few minutes to listen to my current vocation journey as I look to enter with the Franciscan Sisters of Christian Charity. I'm making this video today because in order to officially enter formation with the sisters, I need to be clear of my education debt. Many people will ask me what makes my situation different from so many others, and I share with them that I'm raising this money in order to clear the debt, so then I could give everything away in order to serve God, the church, and the community with my whole life. I'd like to invite each one of you today to join me on mission through a financial contribution. And I'd like to thank so many others that have already been generous through their prayers and donations. It gives me great strength to know that so many are walking with me on this journey. So I am a convert. I became Catholic when I was at Newman College, a Franciscan school in Aston, Pennsylvania. So some people sometimes will ask me how a non-Catholic ended up going to a Catholic college, and I share with them ice hockey. So let me explain that a little bit. In my late teens, incidents happened, and I questioned how there could be a loving God, and I barely graduated high school, and I never saw myself as college material. But then there was this night. When I look back, I call it my aha moment. It was a night when I met this older gentleman, and he started a conversation with me, and within minutes he had told me my story. And he shared with me that he believed that I was made for more than I could ever imagine, and that I needed to trust in what I could not understand. He then shared that the way for me to go to college would be through ice hockey. And he said that he was only passing through town for the one night, and he would never know what I would do. But he asked me to write to some colleges to see just the possibility. A couple weeks later, there was this urging in my heart, and I wrote to a few colleges. And Newman responded, and they accepted me. When I looked back years later, I realized that God was in that conversation. So after an injury and circumstances at the end of my freshman year at Newman, I ended up walking through the door of campus ministry, and my life was forever changed. Through a Franciscan priest, campus minister, Franciscan sisters, friends, and staff, God worked through each one of them in order to help me to find him in my life. I remember being around peers in prayer and wanting what they had, to be able to trust in God and to let him into my life. To know that he loved me no matter the mistakes I'd made in my life and no matter the incidents that had happened. Over the next couple of years, I began to ask questions and I became more involved in campus ministry. And then I went through the RCIA program and I came home to the Catholic Church. After college, I served 2 years in the Jesuit Volunteer Corps. We lived in community and we served in different ministries around Detroit, Michigan. These years taught me how community life can be both challenging yet beautiful, and how it could bring to light both strengths and weaknesses, and how important it is to work to support one another as you serve others. I also learned that sometimes in order to see the whole picture, you need to step into the shoes of another. It's interesting because my time in JVC didn't come into full light until years later, when I finally understood the impact that we can have one another, and how those that we serve can teach us so much. I received the call to religious life one day when I was praying in adoration. I had asked Jesus what he wanted from my life. And people will say, be careful what you ask for, because sometimes you may get an answer that's completely unexpected. And on that day, I did, and I saw. If you ever have a chance to ask me, I'll share more fully what happened. But when I left adoration that day, I was confused. A call to religious life was something that I never saw coming. I went to my pastor, I shared with him what happened, and he listened. Then he encouraged me to return to prayer and to see where God may be leading me. And I remember thinking I was entering into this world of the abstract, As an athlete, you have timetables, you set goals, you're striving to reach certain levels. But now, I was on God's time, and I was letting Him take the driver's seat as I entered more fully into prayer and I began the discernment journey. I could see over the last couple of years how God has worked through my parish friends, priests, religious, and family in order to fully open up my heart and mind to Him. That when we place God first and we build our days around prayer, how we can draw strength and thrive in our lives. Now, I'm far from perfect, but I know that when I spend time with Him, that I truly feel a sense of joy and peace within. And that when we allow God in, how He will work through us, through our words and actions, in order to impact the lives of those around us. After much discernment, Jesus led me to the Franciscan Sisters of Christian Charity. So how did I choose these sisters? Well, that's a long story, but most importantly, I felt a connection to their charism. And I wanted to read that for you now. The Franciscan Sisters of Christian Charity strive to live the gospel in simplicity, built on faith in a loving God, joyful acceptance of poverty, love for the church, and selfless dedication to the service of others. When I enter as a postulant, I will continue my discernment as I enter into formal instruction with the sisters. I wanted to say that if there's anyone out there that has questions or feels a call to religious life, consecrated life, or the priesthood, that I encourage you, as St. John Paul II would say, to not be afraid. Talk to others, speak to your pastor, and explore where God may be leading you. Our God is pretty amazing, and sometimes He's just waiting for us to take that next step. I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to watch this video today. If you look on the screen below, as well as in the description box, you'll see my website. When you go to my page, you'll see my blog, ways to support me, as well as information about the Franciscan Sisters of Christian Charity. So I want to thank you again, and please pass on this video and my website to others. God bless.